Hi, I'm BD Dalton from Rockfine Group and founder of the BullRing, which is Birmingham's answer to the Dragon's Den and Shark Tank. It's an entrepreneur showcase that allows people to show off their businesses, talk to investors and possible future partners, and even clients, either over Zoom or in person. What's in it for you? One, if you're an entrepreneur, you're going to learn what else is out there, what problems people are running into, and also what investors and clients are looking for in new products. If you're a person that wants to invest, you're going to see what's happening out there and what type of companies are looking for partnerships or things that they can be invested in or actually receive money for. The BullRing trains you up a week ahead of time to walk through your 5-minute pitch. You get to do that with the other pitchers. You get to see what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong. Then on the day, you get your 5-minute pitch to sometimes 75 to 100 different people that will either know more about your company as a client, as a potential partner, or even a potential investor. Our pitchers have had the opportunity to partner up with Microsoft, Amazon, some of the big gaming names, and even some potential European big boys. If you're just somebody from the general public and you want to know what's happening here in Birmingham and the wider Midlands, then you'd come along to see what's happening for businesses that are startup or scale up. Well, hello everybody. Welcome out to the BullRing in May. So it's not Cinco de Mayo, but we're on the 18th de Mayo, so 18, but we're working forward, so welcome out. We're going to see some great pitches today. We've got people in the audience, and I was reviewing all the stuff that we've done over the last 5 years, and I went back and I was like, okay, sometimes we'll have 20 people here, 35 people here, 50 people here, 75 people here, but I went back and looked at it, and we've actually had, on the views on the uploads for the videos, we've had more than 2,000 views on all the rest of the videos. So I thought, oh my gosh, on the day we'd see this. But we have anywhere from 70 to 250 views of most of the videos that are out there that follow on from this. So you're getting to see some things live in action and get to participate as we go along. So Michelle, if we could put up the slides, that would be amazing. And then we can start talking about how we're going. So it's great. We've got people all over the world right now, either viewing or tuning in over YouTube or actually here in the UK, but Zoom has made it amazing for us to be able to link in with people all over the world. But what you're going to see today is essentially our BullRing is all about the pitches, of course, but what makes it special for us are the bulls. So the bulls are here to make sure, unlike the dragons and unlike the sharks, is to make our pitchers look good. So today we have 3 who I'll introduce you to, but their job is to overall make these pitches a little bit better, go a little bit further, or be able to get a little bit more money, a little bit more dosh, a better person in the background, and either make things smoother or go forward faster. So let's move on to the next part of it, because it's not just about the bulls, it's about the companies that come through. We've had tech, we've had food, we've had services, we've had all these different things that have been out there. And today you're going to see a good variety of tech, things that are in your face, things that are services. And it's all about variety for you, but also seeing what is working in pitching land if you're either pitching or if you're an investor. Here's some of the things that you can see to talk to your investments about, or the people that you're investing with or for. The next part of it actually comes down to that because we're over Zoom and COVID kind of shut down for everybody else and all this, we actually did everything, used to do everything face to face, but because we've actually gone on to Zoom now, we've had pitchers from all over the world, we've had bulls from all over the world, and viewers from all over the world. And these are just some of it, but we've actually had people participate from more than 35 different countries and invest and get investment from all sorts of different places all over the globe. The next part that we really roll on to is what happens next. So I'm here to keep everything running, hopefully on time. I'm a stickler when it comes to the 5-minute pitch. So it's a timed 5-minute pitch. After the end of the pitch, we get the bulls that come in and say, here's what I saw, here's what I liked, here's some questions I had. not only do the bulls get to participate, but you, the live audience, get to participate in the crowd engagement. So you get to participate in the polls. So moving on to the next part of it, because really when we're talking about this, most of you guys actually, we'll throw up one of the polls, because I want to make sure that everybody in the audience, before Mike gets to tell us about what these people have gone through, I want to see if you can actually work on this. So is this your first bull ring? Is the first one. The second one is how many companies have been through? You'll kind of have to make this one up because it was in part of the first of the video. And then what company runs the bull ring? So you guys are getting fast at this. So here we go. We'll stop there. Very good. So it looks like you guys know some people are, this is your first one. So some of you are attending your first one. We get a lot of people that kind of make it back and a lot of people that are definitely diehard bull ring fanatics. The same thing with below is you figured out that we actually have had over 150. So we're closer to 200. And then obviously you guys knew what was happening there. And Rockfine Group, Gymshark, obviously ChatGPT. Yeah. Hopefully we get Gymshark calling us to say that we can actually work with them. But how do we make this thing more fun, more interactive for you guys? We make these guys and these people and these business owners practice. So Mike, would you talk to us about what Pitch Perfect practice looks like and what these people have to do to make it into their 5-minute spot on the bull ring?
Yeah, simple. One of the biggest challenges is 5 minutes. Yeah, this isn't a 10 minute, this isn't a 20 minutes. You've got people here who are sweating blood, tears, and livelihoods to get focused, to get in that environment, and could talk for hours. But we've got 5 minutes. So the 5 minutes has to be presented to this little camera lens, the size of a fingernail, presenting in a way that's engaging, not loads of graphs and historical data. This is all about let's have the focus. Let's have some fun. Let's have some enjoyment. The key takeaway here is that's interesting. I know somebody you should be talking to. So it's 5 minutes. It's engage, connect. The whole challenge and observation of what we want out of this is to step up, to get those conversations happening. As a result of those conversations, we are then in a position where, okay, I want to talk to you more. And that's where the balls will come in, and the audience as well, because the audience has access to databases. Some of you got thousands of people that you're connected to who potentially need to talk to or know somebody that the pitchers should be talking to. And that's all we're asking for. Generate connections, make it happen. And good luck to all 3 pitchers today. You're going to be awesome, guys.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Mike. Okay, so now you're going to want to meet the bulls. So we're going to start off, and I'm going to introduce and then let them kind of talk about what they've done in startup space, in finance, in corporate finance, anything like this. So we've got quite a variety of people as bulls today. And Daniel Newman, got to remove that Daniel Newman. Sorry, removing. That person's trying to come in and cause problems today. So our first bull is Naomi. So Naomi Nash, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, thanks for having me, BD and team. It's great to be here. I have been supporting kind of startups, specifically in the tech industry, for about 10 years now, through a variety of different roles, through running a tech incubator, working at Tech Nation, rest in peace, and now working with Tech West Mids, which is just the new name of Birmingham Tech that was launched this week at the Tech Review. So my role with all of that has been focused on helping startups to grow their team, raise capital. I've done a lot of work with kind of pitch practices, pitch decks, and helping companies to raise finance. So I'm really pleased to be here and looking forward to the pitches.
Thank you very much, Naomi. And now we'll move on to our next bull, which I believe is Adam McLean. So I probably spelled your name wrong, and that's my fault. Sorry, I added an extra C in there for you, Adam. My fat fingers. Thank you. Over to you, Adam.
Thanks, Bob. Yeah, Adam McLean, and I've been building businesses for 20 years, and I've also been a serial private investor, mainly through the EIS route, for a similar amount of time. And so I have a foot in both camps, and I love hearing about business ideas and giving feedback and supporting founders to realize their ambitions and dreams. So looking forward to the pitches.
Very good, very good. Okay, and our last and kind of returning bull is always here helping us out. Very, very much appreciated. Chris Deering. So Chris, you're on mute. So if you come off of mute and tell us a little bit about yourself. I know it's a long history on Wikipedia and everything else, but over to you to tell us. There you are.
I've
Perfect.
done that, I guess. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I guess the sound is coming through. Well, I'm kind of a dinosaur of the interactive entertainment area. And I'm now in a situation where I help startups and work on panels like this to try to share what some experience or wisdom of age on a lot of subjects, but especially in looking ahead to how to grow a company from the startup to the point where it becomes, almost corporate. The small companies are the fun ones, and it usually can hold on to the fun till you get to about maybe 100 people. When you no longer can remember everybody's birthday, it turns into a different beast. But of course, Google and Apple and a lot of companies are wonderful beasts. But I like that stage where there's electricity and sharing of ideas and owning the mission. So it's fun to look at the projects as they come through, try to make some helpful hints, and I'm enjoying it as much as I hope the presenters enjoy presenting.
That is awesome. So, okay, here we are. So you've met our bulls. We've had some fun today. We're not letting anybody else in because we don't want whoever's trying to spam us and have fun with us. Beauty of tech, beauty of being on Zoom, and then people want to have fun with it. So first up into the bull ring, we have Kevin Blair from Epicenter. So if we could have Kevin's spotlight and make sure that he can share his screen, I will remove myself, and I am a stickler. So you get your 5 minutes, Kevin. So I will start that at 5 minutes. I might yell at you a little bit. At 5.5, I'll probably turn you off or jump in. So
this one.
I know I won't have to because you are a professional, consummate professional. So Kevin, once we can get you up and sharing, we'll let Rupert in.
Okay, so
Kevin, are you sharing your screen now?
I am doing it now. That one there, and then on to present. 2 seconds. You share. So bear with me.
That's you.
To that one, and then we'll go to that one there, and then present.
That's the last screen. That's the
one.
last slide, right?
That was on, yeah. That's my apologies. It was on the first
It's
one.
okay, you're fine. Okay, Kevin Blair of Epicenter, your 5 minutes in the bull ring starts now.
Thank you. So the world of law enforcement is a high pressure environment and where every second counts. Yet our dedicated officers often find themselves mired in mountains of data, painstakingly trawling through hours of video footage and piecing together fragments of information to solve crimes. Ladies and gentlemen, bulls, my name is Kevin Blair, and today I present to you a revolutionary opportunity, one that harnesses the power of artificial intelligence to transform the landscape of crime investigations, whilst also prioritizing user privacy. I am delighted to introduce Epicenter. Between October 2021 and June 2022, nearly 50,000 non-fatal crimes using knives were recorded across England and Wales. This is equivalent to 136 incidents every single day. In London alone, the Met Police responded to nearly 13,500 incidents involving knives in just 12 months. One of the biggest challenges in police murder investigations is the time-sensitive nature of collecting and analysing crucial evidence. The first few hours following a homicide are critical, known as the golden hour, as the likelihood of solving the case decreases with each passing hour after that. Investigators face several obstacles. during this time-sensitive window, not least resource management, data gathering, and analysis. Imagine, if you will, the impact on a murder investigation that can utilize AI, computer vision, and behavior analysis. With Epicenter, detectives can swiftly identify and track multiple suspects, utilizing authorized video footage from double opt-in users. This accelerates the investigative process, bringing closure to grieving families and communities much sooner than traditional methods allow. With the press of a button, Epicenter automatically polls opted-in video doorbell and CCTV systems for video data. Epicenter then analyzes the footage, looking for patterns, and builds a map to a present location using computer vision and behavior analysis. Our target markets are the 43 police forces in England and Wales, moving into Scotland and expanding internationally in years 4 and 5, giving us a measurable market of 1.6 billion for licenses alone. Add in the secondary revenue stream of maintenance fees, equates to 190 million per annum. This is purely across the 5 countries mentioned in the slide. Epicenter is a unique first-to-market system, and while Amazon owns Ring, we do not believe they are currently looking at any similar solution. However, Axon, an American-based global security company who already supply police with body-worn cameras and operational platforms, are best positioned to enter this sector. At this point in time, we aim to be first to market and consider both these entities part of our exit strategy. We believe Epicenter brings real-world impacts by accelerating resolutions of homicide cases, efficient combat against violent crime, swift recovery in child abduction and missing person cases, disruption of terrorism and organized crime networks, deterrence of robbery and theft, whilst also benefiting with less police mental stress and less sick days. We've already built an advisory team consisting of police detectives and professors from 3 local universities. We've been working with 5 groups of students to develop a proof of concept, and with your investment, we can offer them paid positions and a development budget. To bring Epicenter to market, we are seeking 300,000 over 2 years. We estimate a rollout by July 2025, with an ROI by July 2027 with an additional 20%. We have our 6-year financial forecasts available for your consideration, and our go-to-market conversion strategy can also be seen on this slide. For example, across the previously mentioned 43 forces across England and Wales, year 1, we are targeting 10%, and so on. Our pitch deck is live on Angel Investment platform, and we've had 2 inquiries from legitimate investors in just 2 days. Epicenter isn't merely an investment into a solution. It's an investment into safer communities, more efficient law enforcement, and a justice system that meets the demands of the 21st century. Join us today in revolutionizing the future of crime solving. Thank you, and I'd welcome any questions at this time.
Perfect. You've made it under the cost there. You've made it into 442, Kevin. That's great. That's fabulous little bit of stuff. So I will hand you over to the Bulls. We will start you off with Chris. But just before we go on to there, my 5th podcast I did was with Rick Smith of Axon. So talking about tasers and talking about all that stuff. So we can have a conversation about that afterwards if you'd like to have that conversation.
Definitely, please. That'd be good.
So cool. Over to you, Chris. So to fill in.
Kevin, can you stop sharing your
I
screen for
can.
us, please? There you go. Thanks.
Okay, it's a very exciting concept that the pitch did a great job of identifying the problem and sort of unveiling the opportunities. It is a pre-product pitch. In other words, you describe the problem and the opportunities and sort of a hint at some of the things that might happen. But a big question come up in my mind. There was a comment with a push of a button, you know, all these things happen. Well, my question is, what is the first button pushed, and who pushes it, and how do they, you know, requisition the work? Well, you haven't figured that out yet, because you're going to bring all of these skills together and professors, et cetera. And there's nothing, you don't have to apologize for not having all the answers. But I think it could have gone, pitch could have gone a little further in saying at least the planning diagram of how these things are going to be put together in sequence so that each project can be maximized in planning stage as well as the execution stage. You mentioned Axon as the target exit. It probably is not a waste of time to spend a little more research on how they're going, what they're doing, where they might evidence of their own initiatives, to position yourselves to be taking advantage of the opportunity for the exit, because this is a much bigger potential market than England and Wales, or England and Wales plus Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Europe. I mean, it's a global issue, and it struck me that the name of the company, Epicenter, with the addition of the URL, was Epicenter AI. I would change the name to Epicenter AI, but I think in terms of the pitch, I think the idea is fantastic. It needs to be shepherded. A project needs to be shepherded. There's a lot about how the rollout would occur, the sales projections, but really the toughest thing to project is how long it takes to execute the product development, because it's a pre-product pitch. So I think it's something that will get a lot of interest, and I think you'll probably succeed. I mean, but it's tough in a pitch when you're pre-product to really go much beyond what was said. So, congratulations on that.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah.
You can have a minute to respond to one of any part of the bit.
I'll just make it very brief. So we are working and have worked with 12 sets of students, so about 60 students, to bring it 12 weeks of pre-development to get us to a position where we need to essentially seek some money so we can actually pay the students. I don't believe in slave labor. I've known Axon for a while. I was actually down at the Digital Forensics show down at XL yesterday, having a look around who's doing what. We approached Axon with the idea initially, and they said, go away, develop it, come back and talk to us. The press of the button is the first detective on site, and then everything after that is automatic. So there's no more house-to-house searches looking for video, and it also protects the anonymity of the person in the house as well. So you don't have gangs of watching households and threaten them not to give over stuff. So it saves on resource, protects anonymity, and we're ready to start development. I just want to be able to pay the students and the advisors to do that. But
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Good stuff. Okay, let's go over to Naomi next.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Naomi.
You're right. Great pitch, thought professional as always, definitely. You covered every kind of key aspect that you should find in a pitch in time, so it was really good. The problem, was highlighted really, really well. I think everyone, it's an easy problem to understand, right? So that's helpful. You don't have to spend loads of time on that. For me, I think the feedback I'd have is I didn't quite get the full extent of the ask at the end. So you had a little bit more time to play with, and I think just kind of focus a little bit further on that ask and what exactly it's going to. You probably did, but I just didn't have the time to kind of take that in before you moved on to the next stage. Another thing that just popped into my head was that things like the doorbells, Ringo, and other such things, they're quite expensive devices for consumers to have. And so where there is high crime in poverty areas where there might not be as many doorbells. So it's interesting just to look at. I'd be interested to talk to you about how you see that kind of working out. And then again, I don't know if you talked about the ownership of the data, and which does that belong with Amazon? Did you say it was, or the consumer themselves?
Ring owns Amazon. Sorry, Amazon owns Ring.
Amazon own Ring. Okay. And I'd be interested just to hear a bit more about any consumer feedback you've had on the likelihood of people happy to release that data at the touch of a button, and the security for the consumer around that side as well. But yeah, brilliant. Well done.
Thank you very much. So great questions. Thank you very much for your feedback. Very simply, we will it's a double opt-in system. So if you put a Ring doorbell on your thing, you'll sign the terms and conditions to say you're going to be part of this project. And only if you're unlucky enough to have an incident or a serious crime take place within a certain radius, you'll get another notification popped up by the police to say this has happened between this date and this date. Now, the police won't actually get that data. That will go to the cloud and be analysed. The only video evidence the police will ever see is if we locate the suspect, we then silo that data and it gets used in court. Everything else, if there's no interested party on that data, it gets deleted. So nobody owns the data, it gets deleted. We only keep the data and it goes to the Crown Prosecution Service as a file to say this is how we got to this location. For those that don't have Ring doorbells, and we appreciate they don't, there's also going to be a backup portal, because what happens currently is the police knock on the door, can I have your footage? People go yes. And most of the time they actually do go yes, and I'll explain that just very quickly in a second. But if they say yes, they've then manually got to go download it, then they've got to manually upload it again. Human in the loop. We don't have to do that with ours. We just scrape it, analyze it, delete or use it. The backup portal is for those that don't have a Ring doorbell, such as dash cams, taxis, that type of stuff. So we can have a backup portal that can be uploaded and adds into that data file. And then there was the last point, my apologies.
It's okay. Let's move on to
Yeah,
Adam,
go.
and then we'll come back to it. So I'm sure that there's some other things. So Adam, can we
Really?
give feedback for Kev?
Hi, yes, good pitch. Thanks, Kevin. I'm building on what the other bulls have said and not duplicating that. I was going to focus on a little bit on the question of the challenges. So I was unclear about, you seem to have hinted that people who, for example, own Ring doorbells can opt in and share the data automatically. Does that mean you don't need any permissions from the supplier of the technology? That's my first question.
No, essentially we just need the user's opt-in details. As it happens, the bigger cloud server is probably going to be Amazon or that type of stuff anyway. They already feed stuff in through Dell into the police. So no, we don't need anything from Amazon. We just need the user as a double opt-in option.
Okay, great. The other question was, do you have any, you mentioned that when police go house to house, that people are quite willing to share their video. Do you have any evidence about when it's a remote system and there isn't a face at the door, what kind of rate of opt-in that might get?
Not so much on that one. I couldn't tell you if it's an automated system. Generally, we're looking at using domestic as our 80% of our thing. So the suspect's running away from a scene of a crime, behavior analysis using domestic Ring doorbells. Automated systems, I've not looked into that. I think we'll have enough data. I believe we'll have enough data coming in from not just the doorbells, but the government-owned CCTV systems, which have generally always got an operator with them. So it's something I will look into, but I don't have those details for you now.
Yeah, okay. And the other challenge that struck me was building on something that Naomi said, was this the fragmented nature of the camera world, and the fact you've got single family homes, multi-family dwellings, you've got taxis, etc. Obviously we keep mentioning Ring doorbells, but that's a tiny fraction, isn't it, of the available cameras out there. What's the way in which the people who have these, how are you going to get people to sign into this, to opt in to share data with you? What's the mechanism for that?
So this brings me back to Naomi's point that I remembered there was one of our professors, his dad's got dementia and he went missing for about 12 hours. And people were actually downloading their footage on their own and giving it to the police going, is this the guy? So they're already doing it. And the fact you can now do it anonymously, we believe will only enhance that. How do we get it to do it? I suppose it's going to be a marketing scheme to do it, to actually opt in. And again, that comes later on in the process when we actually, once we've done our demo and our proof of concept, we'll be using our own systems internally. Then we'll be showing Amazon, we'll be showing Verisure, we'll be showing these people to get these to opt in. The backup, as I mentioned before, will be a portal so people can do it manually. And we believe there's going to be enough data added that our neural networks can piece together through geolocation, also 3D mapping of houses and things just by recognizing the patterns on them. So.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you both. Thank
Thanks,
you,
Adam.
Adam. Thank you. Thank you to our bulls. Thank you, Kevin, for your presentation. Okay, now we'll look back out into the audience. So if we could put up the poll for Epicenter and see what the audience thought, Kev. Here we go, everybody. Rock and roll. Very good. Everybody's getting good at this, understood what we were trying to do and the challenges that are there. So we'll go for another.
There's your results.
There's the results. So the results are almost everybody knew what you were doing. We had half that were a little bit confused, and yes, they actually understood what your actual ask was. And you had more than half that were investable. So very good on that. So thank you very much for Kevin for presenting us with Epicenter. And obviously we'll have more of this. You'll be able to view this on YouTube. You'll also be able to see anything else that you want to in the follow-up notes that'll go out. So next up, and you can follow us on LinkedIn because here's what we have. So the bullring.club, please like, follow, subscribe, do all the stuff that you typically do on social media, and make sure that more people know about this, because the more eyeballs that we have, the better it is for all of our pitchers, our bulls, and all the people in the audience. So now we're going to bring up our second presenter, which is Ben Slater from Rapid Pack. But here we go. So once we can get Ben sharing his screen, I will get my trusty clock ready to go. We get there. So deep in the Black Country, getting ready to get everything happening here. So Ben from Rapid Pack Fulfillment, your 5 minutes in the bull ring starts now.
Thanks, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, bulls. Lots of good afternoon. Yeah, so I'm Ben from Rapid Pack Fulfillment. We are a logistics 3PL, and we're here to sort of disrupt the e-commerce market and make it super simple for brands to scale. We're doing that with our 3PL services as well as our future software as a service product for the supply chain. Didn't click. There we go. So we provide tech-enabled services to online brands to help them grow, to get them from fledgling brand to, up and up and up. So often we'll find brands struggling with their growth and their prospects. So we're here to help them, providing all of those picking, packing, storage facilities, but also starting to bring in really good actionable data insights to help them grow their e-commerce sales and improve their supply chain throughout. So most common problems we find are around how to scale, the way they go about doing things in terms of their expansion internationally. We make that super simple with automated, efficient solutions that connect to their store, to their marketplace, wherever they're selling. We will connect to them. All of the orders come through to us seamlessly. We ship them out. All of that goes back to the customer. No hassle. They can just focus on growing, doing what they do best. We also find that where they are using other warehouses or other facilities, they often can't get across their brand, how they want to do it. They want a really good unboxing experience. Our whole ethos, the way we've designed all of our systems, are around allowing them to provide that really, really high quality unboxing experience, that personalized nature, boosting their brand, and then also around the environmental nature, carbon tracking, packaging, and green delivery solutions. Really hard to do on your own, not easy, very expensive. We provide all of them as one simple package, all included in the price. In terms of the market, for the 3PL market alone, globally, it's just under $1 trillion a year, so massive. In the UK, the US, and Europe, which is our core overall market and where we'll be growing into over the next couple of years, that's 200 billion. And all of that is growing at an annual growth rate of 8%. And our core market alone, which is UK Shopify sellers selling over £25,000 a month, that alone is £11 billion. So still a vast market. And that's just the 3PL market where we are now. Doesn't take into account the SaaS offering that we're going to use in future around our data. So we focus on 4 key areas, which is our tech-driven logistics, highly automated and efficient systems. Later on in the year, it will also be efficient and automated robotics, which we'll be bringing in, say, towards the end. Currently, it's all super seamless, super slick. Retailers really don't have to worry about their fulfillment, their supply chain. It's all handled by us. The data insight is our platform, which we've started developing. using AI, generative AI, to look for patterns, we're tracking hundreds and hundreds of key endpoints for their supply chain, where we can help them make savings, where we can help them improve, where we can help them sell more. So that's coming out towards the end of the year. Our really strong brand-centric approach, making sure that they maintain that loyalty with their customers, and then our green solutions around delivery solutions, packaging, and tracking carbon and helping them to reduce that in due course. In terms of our revenue model, is split across multiple different aspects. We've got our monthly packages where they have paid for access to our systems and our integrations. We've got our client success manager where they will help them actively grow, they will coach and they will enable them to get them to the next level, provide that playbook to make scale a truly easy and seamless thing, not a scary thing. We've got our order fulfillment and our storage, which is a transactional based, be it per order or per item or per item stored. We've got packaging and rework, which is ancillary services. We've got a data platform, which, as I say, will be launching towards the end of the year, which will be a paid service for not only our clients, but we'll also release that to the wider market. And then we've got partner referrals around taxation, finance, and marketing, where we take a commission of 10%. In terms of traction, we've done 239,000 last year, 555,000-ish this year, and growing up from there. Currently around £50,000 a month revenue. That's doubled over the last 6 months. We expect it to double again, and around a £60,000 lifetime value at the moment. Last year, we were awarded Best E-commerce Fulfillment Specialist, and tonight we're up for another award at the Startup Awards in Birmingham, so fingers crossed on that. In terms of how we're going to project over the next few years, as you see, the numbers are expected to rise quite substantially. We've now got all the systems in place, we've got the people in place, trained, we've got a really great workforce. We've got the additional capacity of a new building, and we're focusing on that as well as ramping up our clients. And we're now getting more and more clients than ever. Expected to post a net loss this year, but then profitable from around this time next year, and then going up quite quickly from there. And we're looking for £500,000 at a pre-money valuation of 2.5 million. We still have our full S and EIS allowance, and we're looking to spend that money towards our product development, our AI dashboard, which will become extremely valuable over time, focusing on some of the CapEx for our storage and building out some of our robotics, and then some new hires around client success, ensuring we're getting really great results from our clients, keeping that high loyalty and growing from there. And we believe we can achieve a successful exit in 5 years, likely from an international logistics operator looking to get a foothold in the UK, or from an international retailer who wants to get involved in the marketing. And that's pretty much it. So it's just backed up. So myself, I'm CEO and founder. I've had many years experience in logistics and entrepreneurship, backed up by Raj, who runs all of our operations, Leah, who runs our marketing, and Julie, who is our CFO from there. So thank you very much. And questions.
Thank you very much. Okay. So we are going to start off with Adam this time. So thank you very much, Ben. Thanks for jumping in here. Ben jumped in last minute, so he came on board last week. So thank you very much for jumping in and giving us one more person to view an amazing company on. So over to you, Adam.
Ben, can I ask you to stop sharing just so that we can see both you and Adam, please? Thanks so much.
Okay, thanks, Ben. Thank you for the pitch. That's great. Okay, I've got a few questions. I'll ask them all and then you can answer them all if that's okay. First one was, you mentioned in the data Shopify users with revenues of over £25,000 a month. So my question is that the extent of your target customer profile, or is there more? The second question is, you're aiming at a very fragmented marketplace with a lot of potential customers, but a lot of providers as well. And so what's your way to find those target customers and to get in there, into their radar and their into their mix of potential providers? Sorry, my light just went off here. Let me just get that sorted. And that's automation for you. That's the lights. The third question was around the data dashboard. And can you got anything that you can give us to support the idea that people will pay for that dashboard? Because it sounds great. There's things people can do on their own, and I'm not clear whether without seeing anything, it's hard to judge whether that's something people will pay for separately.
Sure. Yeah. So a lot of that all comes actually back into the same kind of question. Yeah. So our core market at the moment is Shopify sellers. We do sell and provide services to, say, Amazon, Etsy, eBay. So we can have all of them. Shopify being the biggest e-commerce platform and one that has a pretty good API. So that is our core market, and most people have a Shopify store, but we can connect to Magento and all the other types.
Okay.
And in terms of their size, £25,000 a month is about where you start needing to use fulfillment or to go and get a warehouse. You can't easily do it from your home, for example. So that's kind of where we're focusing at, but clearly there's a massive difference in some of our customers are doing, that bottom end, or some of them could be doing, drastically more than that. And as we grow and have getting more and more loyalty and experience with our customers, we're getting more and more of the much larger customers. And again, as we expand internationally, which will be quite an important part for us to do so that we can make it easy to move products cross-border, we'll be able to expand that market substantially already. And around 10-15% of our customers are international customers already. So they're international based, selling into the UK. So it is still a very large market and likely only to get bigger. In terms of how the market is, yes, there is, obviously there's lots of orders. There is quite a few fulfillment centers. Most are fairly traditional in the sense that they were haulage companies and people like that historically. There's a few that are really good and have received significant investments. So in the last few years, the top 3 or 4 have had over 100 million cumulative in investment, which is obviously a challenge for us. But it all becomes around us ensuring we've got that really, really high quality of customer service, being able to offer that brand personality, which they don't generally offer. The example of an Amazon type, you're going to receive a brown box that is efficient, but not necessarily conducive to their brand. So we're focused on that. And then it's around the data and helping them sell more and supporting them with that. So we are very hands-on in our e-commerce platform and our team, our client success team, to help them get to the next level. Most retailers or entrepreneurs are, first-time entrepreneurs or first-time retailers in this space. There's a lot for them to learn around how to get to the next level. So our team that builds that and starts to look at their data, which is where this all came from, we believe is a powerful prospect. In terms of the supply chain analytics and the actionable insights, again, it's just about making it super simple by tracking all of the details around our current clients, but also the data we can obtain in the e-commerce ecosystem. Again, Shopify is good because it basically makes all data available to anyone at any time. Shopify stores are not anonymous in any way. So we can track all that. So we can start to look for, how does your product compare to other products in the marketplace? How is your real-time supply chain? You might think it takes 2 weeks to get from your supplier, but according to our data, it actually took 3.5 weeks. And based on the order that you're putting in, last time you put an order of X, this time we think you need to be X plus 10% based on the volume that we think you can do and based on these other insights. So we believe that there is, powerful things in there. And I guess to back it up, there's
Ben, I'm gonna stop you there because
Okay.
I think you might take away everything from
fine.
Naomi and Chris. So
No,
I think Adam's questions were phenomenal. I think you answered them
they were
very
tough
well.
ones.
But let's make
Thanks,
sure
Chris.
that thank you very much for the great questions, Adam. Let's go on to Naomi next. So Naomi, if you'd unmute and then you can give Ben a couple of questions.
Hi, Ben. Hi.
you go.
Thanks so much for that. You can really see you obviously are very passionate about this and know your stuff. For me, yeah, it was a good pitch. And talk a little bit just kind of about the deck and the style of the pitch. So I think there's a bit too much text on there. I appreciate that you came in last minute. Maybe you didn't have the time, but I think where there's big paragraphs, just switch those into single words or images, and then you tell the story behind them. I always see it as like a double act, like your slides and you are a double act, and because people can't read and listen at the same time. So that's just a little thing. And I think as well, in order to help the listener understand quicker, maybe just doing kind of like an example customer journey. So this is a typical day of a company that's small and wants to grow, and this is the current problems that they're saying. We can come in and this is how we would process them, and I think people would get that quite a lot quicker. The thing for me is I didn't see what kind of competition is out there. I don't know if there wasn't any kind of slides on the competition and your USP
I have one
side of things.
in my longer pitch.
Yeah.
But culled it for this one, but yeah.
Yeah, so I think obviously it's with such a saturated market, you know, you do need to kind of really show why you're so special, and maybe it's because you've got those 4 elements you mentioned, and you're bringing all those all together as a you know, complete package for your customers. But that was kind of my main thing, and also is 500k enough for you to kind of for your next stage? Is that just like give you a long enough runway, considering your high growth plans? Would be my questions.
Sure. Well, I mean, most of it was suggestions, which is certainly taken on board. 100% need to reduce some text, and I really like the idea of the customer journey and how that sort of plays out. And I guess that would help us to reduce some text. So that's really good.
Yeah.
Definitely, we like the competitors slide. We have got another one in various guises. It is fragmented, but realistically, there's probably only 5 main competitors. So there's some big beasts. Most of the others are significantly smaller. And yeah, the 500k, we believe the way that we've set it up, we've based it on a low capital expenditure type model. We're very lean. So yes, we believe we can do a lot with that money. Like I said, we're likely to be profitable in next year anyway, so we can bankroll that, I guess, and steamroll it. And everything's been bootstrapped so far. It's not necessarily easier to go forward, but we've done everything so far with, you know, the funds we've had and got to where we have. So I believe that a small injection.
And that's really impressive to have that scale of growth with bootstrapping. And I think just thinking these really high growth, exit in 5 years, but you're looking at kind of like an EIS round. You know, have you factored in? Is it part of your longer plan to do further rounds to get that scale as well?
Yeah, I think we would expect to do a more significant round in a couple of years. When we've really got everything going, it could be shorter, but, you know, assuming we're just following the plans we've got to really ramp it up and become, you know, in the top few fulfillment centers, clearly we could have a much larger fulfillment center, much more automated, which would cost significantly more. And then we could be, you know, really doing well. So I'd expect another round in 18 to 24 months time, but certainly to get to where we get to or have projected, I think we're on track.
On the right track. Brilliant. Thank you. And good luck with your award tonight.
Oh, thank you. Cheers.
Perfect. Thank you, Naomi. Good answers, Ben. And now over to Chris for the last couple of, before we go to the crowd. Chris is on mute. You're good and put yourself on mute, and then.
Yeah, obviously Ben is extremely knowledgeable about the subject and passionate and knows where he wants to go. I had a little bit of difficulty understanding where the company, it's already trading and it's got a growth projection. What is the, the absence of a defining by a positioning against competitors didn't allow me the opportunity to figure out exactly what your pitch is, because on the one hand you could be an integrating general contractor, be the person that sells all the other services to the client, or you could be an in-house procurement service, which is advising the client on what mix of suppliers to use and how to get a better end result, including the marketing. Maybe you do both, but I wasn't sure about that, because I know, having done a big SAP system for Sony with a lot of different countries and different warehouse systems and then integrating into an ERPS SAP system or the one in the US is a different kind of task. So I think you certainly convinced the viewer that you know what you are and where you're going. I didn't quite grasp where you fit in competition and how you would help the client get this logistics part of their business or the online sales part of the business integrated with their financial systems and their inventory and their manufacturing and their packaging and whatever else they're doing. So, but it's definitely a place where there's great improvements can be made, and you've identified it, and you'll do fine, in my opinion. I guess my last point was, if brand marketing is the thing that's distinguishing a logistics company, then I think you need to make a bigger, noise about that. Because there are companies that do this, CRM based on your orders was placed on this, and here's where you are, here's where your goods are, and there's very proactive marketing people doing that. But if that's where you're going to specialize, and still do all of the other bits, then that's a good way to differentiate the company, and perhaps more than an Accenture or a big logistics company would do. And my last point was just on the financial side. You're talking about 16% of your equity post money for £500,000. I guess that's the valuation that you have to, place on it to raise the money. But I think you're pretty early in the game, and you will need other rounds unless you just have a fast spin it, and exit. What worries me a little bit is you have to worry about, how fast you give up control. So would you think possibly about convertible bonds or maybe a lower valuation so you don't have to have already given up 16% of the company at this fairly early stage? And if your control drops, way below 50%, and then life gets tough, motivation for you personally and your top managers will be one of your biggest enemies. So, the biggest disappointment. So, but in general, I think you're onto a good idea and exhibit very good confidence in terms of ability to execute. So I would say it's definitely investable at this level.
Cool. You're not supposed to give away everybody's answer. Jeez, you're supposed to no investable. I'm joking. Ben, I think there were a lot of Chris had a lot of awesome
No,
comments
that was
there. So
amazing. Thank you.
so
Yeah,
I
thank you
don't
for
think
that.
there was the need for a response, because I think a lot of those were just great comments and following on from stuff from Naomi and Adam. So thank you, Chris, for those things. But and thank you for stepping in. So now let's put the poll up and see what's happening. And if you find that you understood what happened, if you're understanding the ask, and is it investable or not investable? Very good. Today has been a very interesting day we've had. It's been one of those, a game of two halves that we've been along here. So we've gotten to the spot and we are almost there. And this is where I think if we're getting a couple people that kind of understood. And I think that one thing that Naomi pointed out is that everybody that's pitching, giving an example of a day in the life of a client or a user of the app or things like that. So then we had very clear and investable. Look at that, Ben. Very good stuff. So hopefully the same thing happens tonight when you get to win your award. So we'll now move on to our third pitcher. And we have Waqar from SuperButler coming in to the bull ring. So Waqar, where are you calling in from today?
I am in Dubai at the moment.
In Dubai. So look, I think we can add another flag onto our. I think we can add another flag onto our pre-show prep here. So Waqar reporting in from Dubai today with SuperButler. Your 5 minutes in the bull ring starts now.
Hi, my name is Waqar. This is my third tech venture, and today I'm presenting SuperButler. We are addressing the hoteling industry and trying to increase their revenues by 30%, the room ordering revenue by 30%, and reduce the staffing cost. We are SEIS and EIS approved, by the way. Okay, so the problem we're trying to fix here is hotels are very slow when it comes to innovation. Players like Deliveroo, Uber Eats, and Laundry Heap, and the taxi services, they're taking and eating all their lunches. So hotels need to innovate. They are looking to ways to eliminate the need for telephony services and replace them with a digital service. Language is a big issue, the staff language, especially if you come to countries like GCC or even in France or Germany, you will find a lot of issues with languages. The hotels are looking for new ways to improve the technologies, the innovations. And basically, we are bringing them a platform where they can digitize their existing services like room dining, laundry, spa, minibar, room support, even buying tour packages. We are offering anonymous checkout, which means the guests do not need to create any accounts. We offer hotels real-time analytics on the user behavior, offering more than 140 plus languages in real time. So the menus or the content can be converted in real time. And a small city like Dubai last year has received more than 14 million visitors. Our technology basically does not require any app installation, is a fully mobile responsive technology. We help the hotels with this QR code design. Every QR code has got embedded room number. So as a guest, you just scan it and it'll give you login access to the portal. And then you can choose the services that you like. Payment options are very flexible. You can pay online, pay by cash, pay by card at door, or put it to the room, or pay by cryptocurrency. It's very simple interface. You scan the services, hotel will choose what services they want. So on the first screen on the left, you can see there's a dining, minibar, laundry. You choose, press the button, you filter, you pick your choice, like let's say the barbecue, you add your items to the basket, checkout. We push the order to this orange device, which runs our proprietary app, or we can integrate with the third-party point of sales machines as well. Very simple revenue model. This is a B2B SaaS, so we are keeping a monthly retainer. So one-off setup fee to cover 50 rooms is £350. Then additional is £7.50. Point of sales device, the orange one, costs 150 each. So if the hotel is asking for 5 services, let's say a room dining, minibar, spa, laundry, and let's say meeting rooms, then 5 devices times 150. Then obviously every service comes with a subscription fee, a monthly subscription fee, £30 each. So 5 services, 150 recurring fee, and then a transaction fees of 10 pence in every order. We've done our trial in my second platform business in Dubai last year, and we generated close to £63,000 worth of orders with these brands. It was a successful trial. We have competitors, but luckily they're not offering all the services. We are the only platform currently offering laundry, room dining, spa, and all that. Plus, we have just introduced 2 more services after our participation in Abu Dhabi annual investment meeting last week. So we are coming with more and more innovation. Market size, so we're addressing 2 markets, London and Dubai, UAE, I would say, 3,000 plus hotels. We have a great advisor team. The first 2 are Birmingham based. The other center 3 are London based, and Raj is London based. So they're giving us a lot of insight about the market. We have a dedicated team of Chief Operation Officer, a CTO, Finance Director. Sharik is on this call. A key account manager. And of course, we have our own in-house development team as well, as we control and own the IPR 100%. A very small ask. It's 1 million British pounds to target the 2 cities, aiming to achieve 2 million in revenue by 2024. This will give us 18 months runway, but this fundraise will also make us achieve the break even. The best part is we're not spending any money on software development. So 51% of the money will be spent on sales and marketing. And what we are aiming to achieve is a valuation of 16 million after the first year of the investment. Very simple cash flow. We are aiming to achieve a revenue of 3x in second year. And, Sharik then later can explain more. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you very much for that, Waqar. That was great. And thank you very much for coming here and sharing SuperButler with us. Let's have Naomi give some feedback first.
Hi, Waqar. Good to see you. Nice to see you again. Love this. Really good pitch. I feel you went a little bit fast with it, especially towards the end. I don't know if you were just conscious of the time that you were on, but it was just like one after the other and kind of just became a little bit too much to take in. But I understood what you're trying to do. I think it's really great that you mentioned that this is your kind of 3rd venture, because it kind of automatically shows that you've been, well, you didn't actually say whether this was your 3rd successful venture or not, but maybe just add that in. Shows that you're experienced in this area. For me, I guess apart from it being a little fast, maybe a little bit too much to take in. One of the things that you put in the problem slide was that hotels are losing out revenue to the likes of Deliveroo, Uber Eats, etc., Just Eat, because people are ordering food in, right? And then in your competition slide, I think all of your competition had the in-room service as part of their offering. So
Yeah.
I think maybe I understood that you do a lot more than the others, but if that's one of the key problems that's already being solved, it might just be interesting, maybe pick a different one to use as an example as your competition. So you've got it running live in one hotel in Dubai, that's right, yeah?
8, 9. So we did
9 hotels in Dubai.
9 hotels, yeah.
Right, brilliant.
Yeah.
And
And that was in my previous venture, SuperMeal, but now we gave birth to this business, and we've got our first hotel in Asia, Ramada. So hopefully they will bring 4 more.
This SuperButler is in.
Is a spin, so it's a bootstrapping. So it's a bootstrap from other business here. From
Right,
other
okay,
business.
I understand. That might be good if you could kind of clear that up, because just going to know where the traction is.
Because the hotels were asking for more services, like give us laundry and spa, and we couldn't offer that in the SuperMeal business. It's a last mile delivery sort of business, so we couldn't offer all
so
these.
This is not just, so again, I think maybe just to be clear on what the actual solution is, it's not just a platform where the consumer can go do their QR code and then order services from the hotel services. You're actually providing those services externally to
the people. Services are offered by the hotel. So this is their existing services. So their existing laundry, their existing kitchen. We're not.
They just don't have any way other than going down to the desk and asking for it. They
exactly.
Don't have
so we're replacing the phone. We're replacing the phone. It's a big issue. Guests would not order these days through phone. They don't want to pick up the phone.
Okay.
They just prefer digital services.
And sorry if you did mention this, but like I say, it went quite fast. What's your projection, did you say? So you've got an 18-month runway fee. I got that. Runway, sorry, for 1 million of investment. Is there an exit in sight? What's the long-term goal?
Definitely we're looking for exit or acquisition. So players like booking.com, hotels.com, they will be very much interested in a business like us.
Yeah.
So we are very open, but for now we yeah.
Sorry, just quickly, last one from me. Do you have stats on the trial that you're currently running as to their revenues? Have they seen increased revenues since using SuperButler?
One of the hotel basically confirmed that they've seen it was Mercure. They've seen an increase of 30% in their orders. They do 1 million dirham worth of orders. That's like around $300,000, $300,000. And they've seen an increase of 30% in that. So they see value already. Awesome. That shows that the guests are adopting. They understanding this more. Especially language is a big issue. People.
Yeah, I like that. I like the translation part of it.
People come from different countries. They don't feel comfortable, speaking on phone.
Yeah,
the big issue.
The main feedback from me then would just be slow it down, choose which information to kind of highlight that's really going to get people on board and understanding, and then really show the revenue benefits to the hotels.
Perfect. Thank you, Naomi. Okay, let's go over to Chris.
All right. I'm very impressed with your observation that people don't want to make calls, and I think you're right. It's a lot easier to order an Uber than it is to call a taxi company. But as Naomi said, you mentioned the problem as being food ordered out, but all the competitors offer that. What you offer is a much broader service and includes everything through this single graphic user interface, which I presume can be changed. The language can be changed at the time of check-in or even before, as you know. And the benefit is really what I would call customer contact consistency, because you're going to have the same interface whether you're ordering to replace things in your minibar, or ordering laundry done, or ordering a tour, or ordering a cat to the airport, maybe, or who knows. I think your observation about who the exit partners might be is great. The real marketing issue that comes to my mind would be who's first on the masthead when you go into a hotel? Is it super services from Ramada powered by SuperButler, or are you trying to impose, sort of jump in front of the store of the hotel's own internal, communications and become another Deliveroo or another Uber Eats? I think if you want to get the big chains, it might be worth saying, okay, you can be Intercontinental, super power concierge, powered by SuperButler.
Yeah,
It's a slight different in positioning, but it might be an easier sell. But I think you've got the product figured out very nicely. One of the things that may separate you from future competition, a barrier to entry, and given that you've taken on the issue of languages, a lot of these things are ultimately send you to a chatbot, and the chatbots only have a certain list of questions they're willing to answer, and then they drive you crazy because you have no speak to agent option. So if you wanted to have a real, white glove service, and you could figure out how to have real people responding in the local language to the questions that people are going to come up between their laundry and their refilling the candy in their minibar, with the same person who's really there and not a chatbot, then you are offering, something that the hotels could never do, because the people are coming and going at the desk. They more about what the hotel offers than the guy or the woman at the desk. And so if you're willing to stretch for that and offer a consistent customer contact, then I think you'll go to the moon. I mean, really. And it is perfect for an outsource. The hotels can't, maybe Ramada could do it, or W Hotels could do it, but they won't, because they're too busy cleaning up stains on the carpets. This is a customized service. So well done, I would say. And
thank you.
I'm very interested to see where you're going to try to come into London. Where your first hotel is.
We are Birmingham based. We are already speaking to Hotel Duvan. They have 16 locations.
Yeah.
And to be honest, we are playing very smart. For few hotels, we are thinking and considering not to charge the £30 per month. Imagine if they have 10 locations, £30 is like £300 a month. So we say, don't pay us this. Just we'll charge you 10 pence or 20 pence in every transaction, which you will not pay. The guest will pay for that. The hotels are loving it.
Right.
It's so funny. We were in Abu Dhabi, the NEC last week. We had a kiosk there. We went all the way from Birmingham. That's why I said, we are in Dubai. We met this guy who came from the Saudi Arabia, and they're investing $500 billion in a new city called Naomi city. So this guy said that, look, I represent the government, and I like this product because our government is very much concerned about the quality of services in hotels. So in our software, there's a room support service as well, where you can report about problems. My aircon has got a problem. The TV is not working. I cannot connect to Wi-Fi. And he said that information is very useful to the government. They want this information. So if the government gives you the MOU, that means every hotel have to sign up with you. In exchange, you give them the data. There's a route to to market. So we are in discussion. It's a bit early, but hopefully we'll crack something.
Very cool. So thank you very much, and thanks for your comments, Chris. That was great feedback. Over to you, Adam.
Okay, thanks. Great presentation, Michael. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
I think we can all identify with the friction of getting things done in hotels. So it's a great, it's got a great story to it.
Okay.
I had a question about the value you put in there, the pitch about the at the beginning, I think could have been clearer about the fact that this is aimed at probably more independent hotels. And if you gave some just a few data points about, hey, there are this many independent hotels or small chains that don't have the capacity to build this stuff themselves. And we estimate 20% of those do room service or something like that. That would help, I think, because it is a big market. And that doesn't come through because you don't give any data or any kind of scaling on there. I think that would help. I thought that when you mentioned your projections, you focused on valuation in the future. And I think that's a really subjective measure. And I would encourage you to focus on revenue, not on valuation when you're presenting. I think that otherwise you just raise a lot of questions. Well, I wouldn't give it that value, that kind of response. You don't need that. You've got a great pitch. So I'd focus on revenue. I had another one about I was thinking about guest satisfaction. You're talking about revenue uplift for the hotels, but there's also a satisfaction benefit to the hotels, isn't there? Potentially, that they have a better experience because they were able to get what they needed quickly and easily and not have to navigate things and have language problems. Mm-hmm. And so I was thinking about guest satisfaction and whether you could link into changes in hotels' guest satisfaction ratings. Yeah. But that leads to the question of, will hotels have the capacity to service the increased demand? Your success is somewhat dependent on the fact they can respond to all these requests they're going to be getting. Right now, they've got a system that makes it hard to request, and therefore they don't get as many. So they're not used to handling them, are they? So there was a challenge there that I thought came to mind. But if hotels can organise for that, and perhaps they are just not that busy and they could be busier, then you could benefit from satisfaction in guests, and that would be your best marketing tool.
Yeah, very good suggestion.
So yeah, I mean, like on the QR code, essentially, if you could tie into their Trustpilot or whatever their local thing is once you're done with this, make sure that they tie into the satisfaction survey or something.
And then WACR can say, look, this hotel was 4.3, but actually since they installed our system, they're at 4.7.
Okay, good suggestion.
And Booking.com would like that too. So it's an extra trust point and touch point for Booking.com if they're going to buy you in the future.
This is why we're raising this 1 mil. We're going to put that money in action and show the real magic. The best part with our business model is that our current burn rate is very low. So it's a low burn, high growth model. That's my specialty. Naomi asked about the other ventures, and both of them are successful, by the way. So I'm too busy building new, so I'm handing over the previous ventures to new CEOs. However, there was a case study again in Abu Dhabi. I met this potential investor at a golf club, and I said, "Look, this is a very ideal situation for SuperButler." I said, you are at, let's say, hole number 10 or number 9, and you need a service there. So imagine you put a QR code and someone scan it. They say, bring us some drinks, bring us some water. You're not going to come all the way back, and he just loved it. They say, yeah, I can connect the dots. The same is true with airports as well. You can be using this service at the airports as well. So cool. Sky's the limit, to be honest.
Yeah, I think, but like Chris always will come back to is find your niche first and then expand before you try to take on the whole government, airports and everything else.
We played a bit smart here. In Southeast Asia, we've signed one partner. We made them our reseller. They have close to 60 4- and 5-star hotels and 120 high-end restaurants, and they're exclusive resellers for Oracle as well. So in areas where we don't want to go ourselves, we're just bringing partners in. And these guys are 25 years old in this industry. So
That's
we
awesome.
we are going with a hybrid model, so our own team and reseller partners.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you, Adam. Thank you for the Bulls. Okay, now let's see what the audience thought. So let's throw the poll up and see if we are understanding what SuperButler is all about. All righty, here we go. Look at this. Woof, flying in. Everybody thinks they're investables. So if you got a spare £1 million running around, well, you know where you can put it. Or if we can all scrape it together. It's only, enough of us to have it out there. So there it is. Yes, easy to understand. You know what it is. Yes, very clear and investable, 100% investable. So Waqar, thank you very much. Great presentation. I'll bet you Sharik's happy about that. So this video will be up. I'll have to figure out how we get around those very interesting interludes that we had in the middle of it so that YouTube doesn't ban me for putting up any sort of pornography that I didn't know about. So that will be fun. So now what we do is we just recap the rest of the day. So Mike, if you'd come back in, talk a little bit about the pitching, because this is we have people on here that have either pitched, will pitch, or will watch this stuff. So what's one highlight or one thing that you saw that people improved on, and one thing that you think that they need to improve on, Mike? So over to you.
Yeah, simple bits of feedback for you here. I won't go over what the Bulls will talk about. I'm looking at this through the lens of performance. So just focusing. There's this wonderful thing that we're really, really good at when we're talking to family and small people, and we smile. And it's just one of those hardest things, especially when you're presenting to this ridiculously small lens and you're getting zero interaction from the audience and you're just delivering with your word. Smile, engage, make the audience feel wonderful. It's difficult, but come up with whatever symbol you need behind your camera lens that makes you laugh. Wear stiletto heels if you're male, because you know that's not normal, or whatever it is that you're doing. Just do weird stuff to make it funny in your mind's eye when you're presenting, so you remember to smile. Otherwise, we have a tendency to go to scary witch face, and that's not as approachable. So that's one key thing there. Words on slides, always going to say this, minimal words. The slide deck is an aid memoir for the audience. It is not the pitch deck that Bulls or others would be reading to invest from. All we're doing, this is the connection, the engagement, the reinforcement bits, not sharing all the detail. And some of the slides today I felt were a bit heavy. The final bit on that as well is just don't read stuff that's on the slide. If it's on the slide, I'm intelligent. I've got an IQ in double figures, apparently, so I should be able to read what's on those slides. So please do not read me slides. Those are just there for a prompt and a memoir. Other than that, though, really strong presentations, guys. Loads you can take away from it. And I know I will stop talking about that because I've just focused purely on performance. And I know Bull summaries will be from a different angle, but that's the whole point of doing this, trying to get you awesome for when you're pitching in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Let's go over to Naomi first. So Naomi, if you could give us one thing that you really liked that you saw today on a generality, not a specific pitch, but then generality of that. And then one thing that you saw that might be improved upon, maybe numbers, maybe competition, maybe whatever that you saw could have been improved upon on everybody's presentation.
Yeah, absolutely. I think all the pitches were delivered by the right person. That's something that I kind of always talk to companies about, is make sure you've got the right person speaking, somebody that knows what they're talking about and isn't just kind of big and bravado. Obviously saw everybody kind of really knew their industry inside and out and knew the problems very well, and that's why they're in such a good position to be building what they're building and making those things. I think that came across really well. For me, I think I would have liked to have seen a little bit more on each of the teams. So when you've got your team slide, I just like to see a few logos of previous companies. I think there might have been on a couple, but just so you can really see these are the right people to be doing the work behind you. And I think just to slow down and really focus on the messages that you want to drive home. It's a really hard time frame, 5 minutes, to get enough information across without overloading the audience, but just maybe spend a bit of time really focusing on those key points you want to get across, and then you can always answer stuff in the questions afterwards.
Perfect, Naomi. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll go over to Adam next. Adam, could you just give us your feedback on
Yeah, I
good
think
things?
what was great about all of them was that they had a clearly defined market need, and those were presented in a story form that was easy to identify with. I think that where a suggestion on what could be better would be to give more reasons to believe the pitch. I think that that ties a little bit to Naomi's comment about the team. That's one reason to believe the pitch. And the reason to believe is why us, why now? So that's what I'd like to see more of. But overall, really good, really high standard. Very pleased.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Adam. And over to you, Chris.
I was very impressed with the ambition involved in each of the pitches. There, we see a lot of pitches which are quite narrowly focused and probably very realistic for a small team to start up. But each of these pitches were in huge areas with great potential, and the passion and identifying the opportunities. So that I thought was great. Of course, when you have a huge ambition, one of the biggest questions that an investor asks is, can they execute? And Naomi was pointing out the team and some of the confidence that would show. But if you're going to be in a really big space, and there's huge companies out there with deep pockets, that if they identified the same opportunity and were able to focus their management, make it a serious priority, could do it. So they're doing it and someone else is not. But of course, they're asking for money, and the investor is going to say, ideally there might be an exit to one of these big companies, but just as possible, there's a chance that they'll be competing with one of these big companies, which has a lot better and wider resource base, easier access to cash, and perhaps other kinds of resources. So show the passion on how to execute, as well as the passion of the problem and the solution. But it was an impressive day of big ideas.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Chris. So I guess my feedback overall, I've seen lots of pitches. We've had over 200 people through here. Less slides, less words, more passion. And people don't care what you did in the past. They like it. They like the idea, but they want to see what that passion is going to deliver to them in the future. And don't assume that your valuation is the investor price that they want to give you for your shares, your number of that, for your amount of money. Don't assume that that's the thing, because as soon as you do that, you've set the price. And if they think that the price is this, you've lost that investor instead of opening a conversation. The BullRing is all about amazing conversations, showing you off, getting you ready for that next stage. And all the assumptions need to kind of sit at the side. You just need to show off your passion in so few slides that you can just see all the smiles, all the energy, all the focus that delivers it. And that's what this is all about. This is all about the pageantry, so that you get energy, so that somebody goes, actually, I saw this really cool thing. This guy named Kevin was talking about Ring doorbells and cops. You need to talk to him. Or if you're distributing anything, call Ben. Or, if you got Wakar over here, if you own a hotel, blah. So that's what we want, is that energy, that passion, that thing flows. And it doesn't flow when you're reading to us. So try encapsulating everything that they said. But okay, now you guys are the audience, you're out there. So there's two things we're going to do today. One is, let's put up the bull. So we have the top bull. So this is the person that was the most informative, the one that you felt gave the best feedback and the most constructive criticism, if we want to call it that. So if everybody could do their, ooh, flying in.
It just keeps the Bulls sharp on their game, guys.
It does.
It's all a bit of fun, but it works.
Yeah, we'll be sending an Amazon gifts voucher out to you. So Ben's going to be sending you some stuff that he didn't get sold today, out to the winner of this. Okay, here we go. We'll close it down. Oh no, look at this. We have a tie between Chris and Naomi. Sorry, Adam, you almost made it in there. So it was almost a split decision there. So Naomi and Chris, the winners of the best bull today. Thank you very much for your time today. And now what everybody's waiting for, the three pitchers. Here we go. Is Epicenter, Rapid Pack, SuperButler. Let's get it out there. We're flying in. Oof. in. We're flying in. It's okay. We'll, there we go. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Somebody loved Ben for a second there. Okay, perfect. Okay, we'll share the results. Look at that. SuperButler is the winner of the May Bull Ring. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for coming out today. Thank you very much for enduring with our very first interruption and video integration. So thank you very much from Rockfine. Thank you very much from Mike, Michelle, and I over here at Rockfine. Top bull, we've gone through the top pitch, and I think we'll be back in July. That's where we are. We've had 3 pitchers already come through. So hopefully we'll see you back again. We'll get it out there. If you have any questions, you can go back to the LinkedIn page. I will have everybody's links in for SuperButler, for everybody else. And Chris and Adam and Naomi are all on there. So if you don't or haven't met anybody that you've seen on here, make sure you link in, connect with them, and have conversations, because this is all about the next steps for these people, whether it's money, non-exec director, introductions, sales, all sorts of stuff. That's what the Bull Ring's all about. So from Mike, Michelle, and I, and all the people at Rockfine, thank you very much and enjoy your day.